I know, my friends, I try to be faster next time. This article over here, Sandbox, New Balance or New Balance. Test starts February 10, was released 9 minutes ago. I try to be faster next time. Anyway, why I'm over here so early is I knew some things about tests, not all the things of course, and I knew this is going to be big. We have one massive article, we have one massive test in front of us, and this video as well is quite a big thing. Just look at all those topics, revising established shell ecosystem, changes to HE shells, artillery as an essential part of World of Tanks, taking another step forward, key changes, revising vehicle research branches, improving the way in-game statistics are displayed, refining personal missions, adjusting in-game economy settings, rewards for participating in testing. Ladies and gentlemen, all of this is part of this new balance system. I think I can even say that every single topic over here deserves its own episode. I am not going to cover every single topic in this episode. I am going to give you an overview, what you can expect. We are going to take a look at this developer diaries episode, this developer diaries video, and let's see what they are going to do, what they are thinking about doing, just to keep you in the loop all the time. Because I know how much you hate reading or watching news or doing all sorts of things. So this is kind of an introduction to the New Balance 2020. And oh boy, I'm going to spend a lot of time over there. We have so much stuff to do lately. I don't even know. Anyway, let's go. Let's watch this developer diaries episode about New Balance and...
A large test is coming.
Global changes will be introduced into the game.
Tech trees have been reworked.
You'll be able to get days of premium account.
The paradigm of all shell types in the game has changed.
You'll get a vehicle in its top configuration.
We've increased the durability of all vehicles, especially low-tier ones.
We started working on these changes within a large update, New Balance. A massive test of New Balance will be held in the next 10 days. Global changes are coming to the game, and they will affect a lot of aspects, from shell balance to the tech tree. We're making all these changes for a certain reason.
There's always been 3 types of shells in our game. However, special shells have always been the most effective and attractive from the player's point of view. Just like standard shells, special shells can be purchased for credits. They deal the same amount of damage, but have much better penetration. Obviously, they are the most efficient in battle. Sure, they're more expensive than standard shells, but all economic calculations are made after the battle. When in battle, you only care about combat efficiency.
Our main goal was to decrease the efficiency of special shells, while increasing it for standard shells. Shell types should have different advantages for different combat situations. At the time, alongside changing the shell properties, we were working on several other improvements, and it would be logical to introduce them all together. So we started working on these changes within a large comprehensive update that we call New Balance. Since last summer, we've tested 4 Sandbox iterations, where we've been checking our hypotheses together with you. Reworking the shell balance system was the main change.
According to the new model, standard shells will cause the most damage and feature good penetration while remaining inexpensive. On the other hand, special shells have the best armor penetration, which compensates for the lower amount of damage they cause. They're also much more expensive. Finally, we have high explosive, or in other words, tactical shells. They've become more effective for calibers below 120 millimeters, but for calibers above 150 millimeters, their efficiency has decreased. We've also improved the mechanics of causing damage with an HE shell. It's become more predictable for both the shooter and their target. Within the new system, using only HE shells to cause damage will not be as useful as before, provided that other types of shells are available. Firing HE shells only will dramatically decrease your damage per minute. According to the new mechanics, very few vehicles can penetrate armor with an HE shell. The only exceptions are the KV-2 and KV-2R. They will still be capable of doing so. As for vehicles that mostly rely on high explosive-based gameplay, for example, the T-49 or the Sheridan, the penetration of their HE shells has decreased, but they remain as effective as before. High explosive and HESH shells that previously featured better penetration will now cause higher damage to compensate for their decreased penetration within the new system. Therefore, their efficiency will not change. Still, there are a few such vehicles. You can see them all on your screen.
As a
Okay, so many people were scared. RIP KV2, RIP KV2R. Seems like KV2 is in a special place. Seems like they are not going to touch KV2. T49, they said the efficiency is going to stay the same, but the penetration is a lot lower, so you are not able to get those crazy 900 damage rolls, most likely. But the overall efficiency should improve. At the moment, usually if you're not able to penetrate, which is, I don't know, 80% of the times, 85% of the shots with Sheridan T49, you deal roughly, let's say, 300 damage. So it should either stay the same or it should be increased. We didn't know what they're going to do to the HESH rounds, and over here they said they're going to lower the HESH penetration. I haven't checked out the Sandbox server at the moment, but this is the first thing I am going to do because they are touching my 183, ladies and gentlemen. They are touching my little darling HESH round. Why you HESH to be mad, Wargaming? Why you HESH to be mad? Now, with all the other ammunition types, AP, APCR, heat, and so on, premium / standard shells, they did, or they're going to do exactly what we have been testing over here in many different episodes. Standard round deals more damage, but keeps its penetration. They both keep it their penetrations, and they simply increase the standard shell damage. So now if you penetrate with the standard shell, you deal more damage, and the premium ammunition is good versus vehicles which you are not able to penetrate. And them increasing the HP as well increases the kill time a lot, taking out one vehicle a lot with special shells. Oh yeah, now they're called special shells, so we are not allowed to say premium rounds anymore because those are special shells. How exactly the HE is going to work, how it is going to affect, did they make any changes, how HESH is going to work, all of this I'm going to test out in the future episodes, so stay tuned. Yeah, hit the subscribe button.
Each of these 3 shell types is suitable for different combat situations. Within the reworked system, standard shells are best suited for causing the maximum damage per shot. When using special shells, you sacrifice damage per minute for the sake of penetration chance. HE shells can be used when you can't damage an enemy with other types of shells. Also, you can use them to reset the base capture, land the final blow on an enemy vehicle, or damage an external module, for example, tracks.
Obviously, the balance changes have also affected SPGs. Now they have 3 shell types, just like other vehicles. Standard shells, high explosive shells that can stun enemy vehicles, remain unchanged. Special shells, they are also high explosive shells. They cause more damage and feature a greater burst radius, but cannot stun enemies. And finally, armor-piercing or heat shells. They have great penetration and cause predictable, yet less damage.
Quick word about the artillery changes, artillery ammunition changes. I did test out the new artillery reworked ammunition system. Literally, the only ammunition people are going to use is still the stunning HE round. Or, actually, when I tested it, it was literally the only useful ammunition. Because the special HE, yes, did deal more damage, but it didn't stun. And the damage gap was so little, it was useless. The damage difference between stunning HE and the non-stunning HE was so little, it made this ammunition useless. And AP damage was also so low, it was useless. So far, I don't know what they have done at the moment. We're going to test it out. But the previous final version, artillery ammunition final version, what I tested, didn't have basically any effect how players are going to play artillery class with all those different ammunition types available now. Stunning was still the way to go in the previous Sandbox version or in the latest Sandbox version.
The efficiency of these shells also depends on combat conditions. If you need to stun an enemy and cause damage, pick a standard shell. If you're targeting a large group of enemies or want to cause more damage, use a special shell, since they feature wider burst radius and cause a bit more damage. Still,
yes, this was the key. A bit more damage. The damage difference was literally, when you splash someone, was literally something like 50 to 100 extra damage. But you do not stun them.
if your target is well armored, go for the third shell type. For example, when you're aiming at the slow mouse equipped with a spall liner, it's rather easy to hit, so it's better to fire an AP shell once, rather than try to cause some damage with HE shells. Together with increasing standard shell damage, we've also increased the durability of vehicles accordingly to preserve the system balance. However, when boosting hit points of vehicles, we've considered the corresponding factors such as armor. As for Tier 1 to 6 vehicles, their durability has been additionally increased. Respectively, durability is increased more evenly from tier to tier. These vehicles now have better survivability, and the consequences of a mistake have become less severe.
During the previous 4 Sandbox iterations, the developers were testing the balance changes only. The current test will be the largest one. It comprises all previous balance tweaks supplemented by other related game elements.
One of the key features is the reworked tech trees. Currently, they're rather complicated. Players have difficulties using it, and sometimes it's not clear how to research a desired Tier 10 vehicle. This is particularly crucial for the title nations, USA, Germany, and USSR.
Previously, the tech trees of these nations were rather clear. However, over time, we've introduced more vehicles to the game. In particular, we're talking about historical vehicles that saw real combat. As a result, these tech trees have become more complicated at low tiers. We want to make the new tech trees more clear, visually appealing, and user-friendly. At the same time, we acknowledge the importance of...
Okay, I agree. The current tech tree is way too... I don't know. Way too informative for a new player. Most definitely. New players always are asking which line should I take, how should I take it, which vehicle, so on, so on. So if you simply look at his tech tree, for example, it is so much easier, so much more simple. You have to start making decisions starting from tier 3 in the American tech tree, for example. T1, everyone is going to play with T1, everyone is going to play with M2 Light, M3 Stewart. Then the first decision, do you want to go into the light tanks, starting from M3 Stewart into the M5 Stewart, or let's go into the medium tank line. Over here you are able to move into tank destroyers and into artilleries, or you can keep going on with heavy tanks or medium tanks over here. So this tier 4 is going to be a big decision maker for you as well. So I hope this tier 4 is actually good, because people have to play a lot with it. Now, tier 1 negative thing, well, kinda can be a negative thing, variety in lower tiers, like if all the new players are going to go down to the American line, they only have one vehicle over here. In tier 3 they have one vehicle as well, so variety maybe is going to get hit a bit, but for how long do you need to play in tier 3 anyway? Tier 3, like, you do not need craziest variety over here anyway. You can simply cruise yourself through it. Couple battles and you're done.
Appealing and user-friendly. At the same time, we acknowledge the importance of historical vehicles and want to keep them in the game. Therefore, some vehicles will become collector's vehicles, while the tech trees will become more simple.
Let's see how it works on the Soviet tech tree. For example, we've removed 13 vehicles from it, mostly low-tier vehicles. The remaining vehicles make up the new tech tree. The branch of heavy tanks is the primary one, since this vehicle type is the most understandable and popular. To arrange the branch in a better fashion, we've introduced the BT-5 tank. The Soviet branches of tank destroyers and medium tanks start from the heavy tanks. SPGs and light tanks are displayed on the edges, since they are more team team-focused vehicles. Premium vehicles have been moved to a separate tab at the bottom. It expands upon hovering over it with the mouse. However, some premium vehicles might not be displayed there. You can go to the shop to view the full list of premium vehicles. The simplified tech trees can be displayed on the screen of most existing monitors, one vehicle column per tier. It's become easier to locate the required vehicle of a certain type. We've also introduced a feature for zooming in on the tech tree, so players can get a closer look at a particular area. This principle of arranging tech trees is applied to all nations in the game. After making
Just wanted to stop over here because I want to talk about one thing. Let's go back. I really like that they are going to do the same tech tree pattern or template for every single nation, where SPGs are in one position, tank destroyers are in one position, heavy tanks in the same position. So it makes checking out different tech trees a lot easier. I like that. And now, one other thing they mentioned over here is they are going to remove tanks from the tech tree. They are going to remove a couple tanks from the tech tree. Okay, so what we can see from the Soviet tech tree. T-62A, for example, because we have so many tier 10 Soviet-Russian medium tanks, they want to get rid of some of them. Those tanks are not going to be removed, but those tanks are going to be moved into the collectors tab in this game now. What they can do with those things, how you are able to get them, we have to dive a bit more deeper into that, but I do recommend you to grind out all those vehicles they are thinking about removing from the tech tree, or sorry, moving away from the tech tree, because they are not removing them from the game, just moving to different location, to collectors department location. I really do recommend you get those vehicles ASAP, guys. Maybe the only way how to get them is like Voice 155 or 183 at the moment. Or FE215B. They can make those vehicles as pawn shop tanks, as black market tanks, something like that. KV-13 is also going to be moved. Yeah. Just to make tech trees a bit more pleasant for eyes, a bit more new player friendly, and collectors tab. Okay, let's keep watching.
This principle of arranging tech trees is applied to all nations in the game. After making the tech trees simpler, the number of available low-tier vehicles has decreased significantly, even within the densest nations. For example, the USA. You can now research a total of 11 vehicles and get all vehicles from Tier 1 to 5. You won't need to go back to them to research high-tier vehicles, so players can save a lot of both experience and time.
We had to remove a total of 92 vehicles from the tech trees to make them less complicated. In addition, to better arrange the tech trees, we've introduced 3 new vehicles, the BT5, the Cavalier, and the T6 Medium. The vehicles that have been removed from the trees will still remain in the game. They will become collector's vehicles. If you already have these vehicles in your garage, they will remain on your account with all their consumables and equipment. Tier 1 to 5 vehicles will be added to the collector's vehicles tab in the shop. Vehicles there are sorted by nation. To gain access to the collector's vehicles of the certain nation, you need to research at least one Tier 6 vehicle of the same nation. Collector's vehicles can be purchased for credits. You don't need to spend experience to get them. Still, modules for such vehicles are researched the same way as with regular vehicles. Players research modules for experience and use credits to purchase them. In addition, such modules can be equipped to other suitable vehicles. A collector's vehicle does not differ from its previous version. However, it can only be purchased in the shop.
As for Tier 6 to 10 vehicles, it's a different case. There are few such vehicles. They are not being removed from the game, and you'll be able to get them in the future. How? We'll explain later. If you already have...
Okay, so up to tier 4, or was it up to tier 5? Those are collector vehicles, which you're simply able to buy for credits, but with the high tier tanks, they actually have some special plans, as I said before.
Have any of these vehicles, when the update is released, it will remain in your garage. Moreover, it will be converted to a special vehicle.
Okay, so what do we have over here? T-62A, go grind that one out. Yak Panther 2, go grind that one out as well. T-71TA, ladies and gentlemen, really, really nice tank. AMX-30, oh, now it makes sense. AMX-30 and AMX-30B, ladies and gentlemen, most likely are going to be replaced by the Brodshed 4 and Badget 12T, something like that, the medium tank version of the light tank. Firefly is also, and 113. Oh boy, I need to get on the saddle because I do not have 113. I'm only missing 113 from this list. I have all the other vehicles in my garage already. I think so. I have to double check before they're going to remove it. So just to be sure, just to fix my tank collector. Fix whatever.
And you'll get it in its top configuration, even if you've not researched a single module for it yet. If you previously researched and purchased a vehicle that is now removed from the branch, we'll automatically unlock the next vehicle or the vehicle of a higher tier in the same tech tree.
Blueprint fragments of vehicles that we're going to remove will be converted into national blueprint fragments. If a vehicle has been moved down a tier, which causes a difference in the number of blueprint fragments, this difference will also be compensated with national fragments. During the test, we will be checking many vehicle changes, but we can't test everything using this format. For example, statistics. It will obviously change when the number of hit points and damage dealt change. We are planning to introduce certain periods that will allow you to more accurately track your new accomplishments using the new values. We will have 2 statistics tabs. The first one will include all your achievements, and the other one will show you only the most relevant ones, for example, for the last 3 months. The new tab with the relevant statistics will work with the period logic in mind. When a period ends, another one of the same length will launch. We are still thinking what relevant statistics period length to choose in order to make it the most efficient for you to track your progress.
Okay.
We also understand that these changes will affect the personal missions of both campaigns. The conditions of the damage and the hit points related to missions will be updated sometime after New Balance is released, when we acquire enough data for it.
Yeah, this is what players were saying before as well. Why they didn't nerf premium ammunition, why they had to buff everything from A to Z. So they had to buff the HP, they had to buff the alpha damage, they had to rework the personal missions, simply because reasons.
Battle economy that directly depends on the damage dealt and the hit points of the vehicle will also be corrected. The income will not decrease in any case. We want to keep it at the same level as before. Credits awarded will be changed in such a way so that you will earn as much as you did before with the same battle performance.
Yet another thing.
It's now time to conduct a thorough test to come to a final conclusion regarding the New Balance. This stage of testing is probably the most important one, so we would like as many players as possible to participate. We will let everyone who takes part in the test provide their feedback in a special survey. Of course, it will take some time, so we will reward those who decide to participate. There will be special missions on the test server that will allow you to get days of World of Tanks Premium account, and a special medal on the main server for completing them. To earn these rewards, you need to both complete missions and complete a special survey. You'll receive it in the primary game client after the test finishes, approximately on February 19th. The rewards for those missions will only be added to your account if you play on the test server and answer all the questions in the survey.
Taking part in the New Balance test is as easy as participating in the common tests. Follow the link in this video's description. Download and launch a special file. If you don't have Wargaming.net Game Center installed, it will be installed along with the test version of the game. If you already have WGC installed, it will automatically...
Okay, if you want to take part of the test, go check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, a lot to cover, so this is what you can expect. I am going to test the living hell out of this new system, all those new things on the Sandbox server. If you do not want to do that yourself, if you do not want to receive the badge, just stay tuned, watch my stuff, and hopefully you are going to stay in the loop of what Wargaming is doing, what Wargaming is thinking about doing. Tech tree changes, artillery, collectors, vehicles, personal missions, so many things. Anyway, this was an introduction to the New Balance. You know the brand, New Balance. And let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. It is quite a big one indeed. Quite a big one. Ladies and gentlemen, that is me done. I hope you enjoyed. I catch you next time with something else. Stay awesome, take care, and bye.